Hi guys, Rock and Roll Bride TV. This is part 4 of my series talking to Ali Lovegrove, and today we're going to talk about using other blogs to sustain your own business.
Okay Kat, I just wanted to ask you today about how to use blogs such as yours for photographers to help build their business and get a bit of exposure. So one thing that I was really interested in is because there's so many wedding blogs out there and everyone has a different style, where do you start when trying to decide whose brand values might match your own and who to approach first really?
Okay, I think it's really important that the kind of wedding you submit goes to the right style of blog. So you know that already. But you just need to, I would say, read all of them and be quite well versed on what style weddings they like to feature. So for example, if you wanted to submit a wedding to me, it would have to be slightly alternative, slightly rock and roll, a little bit quirky. If you wanted to submit to, say, Ruffled in America, it would have to have a slight vintage edge, maybe a little bit outdoorsy. So it's just about learning about which blog suits which style.
Okay. And are there a general set of rules when submitting work? So I know you can't submit to more than one person at a time because obviously the crossover between posting articles, but is there any other rules that are general rules that you have to go by when submitting your work?
The thing with the blogging industry is it's still so new. I mean, if we take the UK, for example, it's really this last 12 months when it started taking off. So there's no hard and fast rules because everyone's kind of learning as they go. Definitely the whole not submitting it to more than one blog is a big no-no. And another one I would say is when you first initially submit, to make your submission personal. So use the blogger's name. So, hi Kat, I really like reading your blog, or I think this wedding would really suit your blog because you know, the worst thing ever is getting hard. You know, I've had this before, dear blogger. You know, or even if it doesn't even say my name, it takes 2 seconds to find out what my name is, and just by making that personal connection, I'm more likely to think, yeah, I'd like to feature your work. Also, just send a few pictures to begin with, just a couple low-res ones, so that we can get an idea of what the wedding's like. You don't need to send hundreds and hundreds because it will, you know, slow the email down and just annoy people. In your initial submission, I wouldn't worry too much about writing essays and essays about the couple and everything, because pretty much I'll generally just look at the pictures first and decide. I can get the idea from the pictures whether I want to feature them or not. I don't need to read a whole lot to begin with.
Okay, and then say for example, following on from that first email, you wanted to see a few more photos. How would you work on making your submission really stand out to you?
When I reply saying I do want to feature something, I will send exactly what I want. So I'll say what size pictures I want. I will send a questionnaire that I want you to send to your couples to give me an idea. And by looking at the kind of weddings I feature and the style of photographs I featured previously, you'll get an idea. Like, I'll generally feature a couple of getting ready shots, a couple of ceremony shots, but really brides that are reading my site want to see details and they want to see portraits, so that's the stuff I'll focus on. So I would say send as many details as you can. The more the better. I can always delete them if I don't want them, or if there's duplicates, and send loads of portraits. And don't worry too much about the dancing or people eating, because you need to think about the wedding as a story when it's going to be online. It's like, you know, I think when you look at every image, I think, what is a potential bride going to get out of this image? What are they going to take from that and put it into their wedding? Like, there might be a gorgeous photograph of someone's mum laughing, which is lovely to the couple and they're going to cherish that forever, but someone that's separate from that wedding isn't going to learn anything from that for their wedding.
Okay, and as a general rule, as a photographer, if you're about to shoot a wedding and you think that it might get featured, there's a few quirky elements. Is there anything overall that you could tailor to every single blog? So it was a very general wedding, but it's got a few quirky things to that couple. Is there any types of photos you can take that you think might be applicable to everyone, that everyone would be interested in?
Just photographing all the details, like, you know, buttonholes, flowers, anything on the tables. People always want to see the details. And just to make the images sort of clear and crisp, and depending on your style of photography is what kind of edit you're going to put on it. But if you're just starting out, I would, you know, you're not sure what your style is yet, just to keep it quite clean and nothing too fancy, nothing too dramatic, no like massive, you know, awkward tilts, you know, just keep it quite natural and clean and crisp.
And what kind of feedback do you receive from people that have had a wedding featured in terms of how successful their business has then gone on to be and that exposure for them?
most of it's been great. I haven't actually had any bad feedback for someone that's been featured, but the amount of publicity they get out of it is really dependent on them. So if they send me an amazing wedding and I do a post on it, and then obviously couple brides might then click through to their website, it's very important that the thing they click through to reflects that wedding. So if they've been really lucky and they've had a really cool couple and they've been featured, but then someone else clicks through to their website and it's really like traditional or generic, then it's not going to attract that right kind of couple. So just to make sure that you're tailoring your brand towards the couple, the type of couple and the type of blog that you want to be getting clients from.
Okay, on the flip side of getting featured on a blog, there's also becoming a sponsor. Is that a similar decision-making process from a photographer's point of view as you would to deciding what blog you want to submit a wedding to as to what blog you would want to sponsor?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's really important that you sponsor or advertise with a blog that attracts the kind of readers that you want of clients. So if you want to shoot cool, quirky, alternative tattooed couples, you might come to me. If you want to shoot more traditional weddings, you might go somewhere like Style Me Pretty. So it's really important that you advertise on a site that is relevant to that.
Okay, and obviously you can put a proposal forward to you to say I want to advertise, but if you don't think that they fit your brand, then you can obviously decline as well. So what would be the best things for a photographer to do to show you that they align with you? Would it again be going back to the website and making sure you've got the same types of couples? And
yeah, I mean, there are some people that sponsor my site that might not have shot they might have only just shot one quirky wedding and they want to shoot some more. And I'm not going to hold it against a brand new photographer because they haven't shot the best weddings yet. But as long as their website is up to scratch and their photography is up to scratch generally, then I will usually say yes. I mean, everyone has to start somewhere. But if I look at someone's work and I think that's not the kind of work I'd feature, then I would generally say no. So saying, I mean, I don't want photographers to waste their money as much as I want their money.
And I think in today's society, with all the social media and things, advertising's changed quite a bit. So would you say that advertising on a blog as a sponsor is now more beneficial than traditional ways of advertising?
I think it's different for different people. I think there's definitely space in the market for magazines and blogs to work together. Some people do really well out of magazine advertising and some people do really well out of blog advertising. So I think it's just trying both and seeing which one works best for you.
When photographers submit content to you to go with their photos, are there any specific do's and don'ts when it comes to what they provide, such as names for the couples or wedding dates and things like that?
Well, when I ask for a wedding and I say yes, I want to feature it, I'll send a questionnaire and it's generally got everything I could possibly want. So it's got wedding date and it's got couples' names. I personally won't use a surname. I mean, again, what I was saying earlier, I don't think it generally adds to the story, so there's no real need to put that personal information out there. Sometimes I'll put the date on if it was significant, but I would say just, each blog will send you a questionnaire, so just fill it out to the best of your ability and that blog will work out what they need and what they don't.
Okay, that's great. Thanks so much for your time, Kat.
No worries.